we have a very big issue. An issue I'm sure none of you have even thought about until now. So as of just last week, Deadpool and Wolverine finally graced the big screen. Throughout the film, the one thing they kept elaborating on was this thing called an anchor being, which got me thinking after doing some very in-depth research. Who's the anchor being for Universe 616? Some speculate that it might be Spider-Man, but that kind of contradicts itself as he was blipped out of the universe, but if you were blipped, you're supposedly dead. But if he's an anchor being, that means the universe would be gone, unless whenever you get blipped, you're not actually dead, you're just there in time, just not actually there, if that makes sense. A lot of other people have speculated that it's actually Wolverine. I'm not really sure how they got to that conclusion. And a few other widely out there scenarios and theories that try to basically justify who would be the anchor being of 616. Now, my theory, I'm gonna go ahead and say there isn't one. Look at it like this. A sacred timeline, from what we know, unless it's been said otherwise, is a very, very rare thing. Supposedly, the 616 universe is meant to be the timeline. Basically, the timeline to hold everything together, where all the main characters are in the universe, or the MCU. And all the other universes are branching off of that. Basically, where the variant thing comes into play. They're just offshoots of the main 616 character in different iterations. Now, leading off of that, the reason I say that Universe 616 does not have an anchor being is because that is the timeline. Every single one of those characters, from what we know, are the main characters. To say that there's one anchor being in a timeline full of main characters who would specifically maybe be the anchor being, it wouldn't make sense to just have one. That's why whenever Tony Stark died, nothing really happened, in terms of the timeline itself. I think that is the most logical reason to explain the different anchor beings within 616 and the other universes going forward. Every other universe, if it's not a sacred timeline compared to 616, will have an anchor being. Again, what happened in Deadpool and Wolverine whenever their universe was about to be clipped, that being Cable. Obviously, those are just my thoughts on it. Granted, I don't have any say on what the MCU does from here. They could just change it all together, but I'm curious to know what you think about this theory.